During my last trip to Egypt in November of last year, I had the opportunity to conduct 2 interviews that reflect different but equally essential dimensions of Egyptology. In Cairo, at the French Institute of Oriental Archaeology, I spoke with Professor Pierre Tallet about research and current archaeological projects, as you saw in the previous episode. But Egyptology does not only exist in research centers and academic institutions, it also lives on excavation sites. In Luxor, I could speak with Rais Mahmoud Farouk, whose work represents the practical expertise behind archaeological missions in Egypt. In this episode, he shares his experience, his perspective on the role of the Rais, and the realities of fieldwork that are rarely discussed. Hello, everyone. Today I'm in Luxor. As you can see, we have a very nice background. And today I'm speaking with Rais Mahmoud Farouk. He was born in Luxor and he has spent his entire life working in Karnak Temple, among other places. He learned the work from his father. Many generations of your family have worked in Karnak Temple, and he's been involved in many interesting projects, which we are going to be talking about. So you are born here in Luxor, and your father always worked in Karnak Temple. How old were you when you started to help your father?
Actually, I started to visit the temple when my age 7 years, 1977. Because my father is the leader, the chef for the temple, and I go with him to see the temple. Sometimes I go to play, and by 1986, I start my real job. I was 16, and I started to work in this place. I work like normal worker, to move the dust, to move the workman, to move the tools, to move everything to help the old people. I helped first my father and my uncle. And my father tried to get me the first job to make restoration to the battery, the ceramic. And I found nice ceramic like this size, and they have a face like a cat. And you know, when you have more than one pieces, you imagine when you collect everything in the table, and you try to put pieces by pieces, and when you make complete ceramic, and this for cat, you can feel how you look like this one. And this real ceramic, and from ancient Egyptian, I keep thinking who's the person who made the ceramic from a long time, more than 4,000 years, 3,000 years. Also, I like to know the person who makes the graffiti in the ceramic. He make me happy. And my father helped me a lot. I thank you, my father. Really, because he tried to push me to make good job. He tell me, you work like a worker. I am not your father here. I am your father in the home. But now, you are a normal worker. You do the same as the people do it. You move the dust, you move everything. I know when you go to your home, your mother, she will be happy when she sees the dust in your body. But he pushed me, I do hard job, nearly for 4.5 years. And after I work to dig in, he teach me how I dig in. After 4.5 years, yeah, make master in the small tools, just to move the dust. And you must remove the dust to be curved, because sometimes you found mud brick, like a wall. Piece of ceramic, this is in the store. And you don't dig it one time like a hole, no. You go by layer. And sometimes you be lucky, found some battery, small battery was written. Sometimes you found a stone. This is from big stone, but it still have a graffiti and something. So I found a inscription. And I'd be so happy when I found some stone with a coloring, with a inscription.
And what was your first discovery? Because can I tell the anecdote? When we met 3 years ago that you showed me this
The
sculpture?
statue I showed you when I met you from Syria in Karnak. This statue, this was for Ramses II. It's actually 2 statues by sandstone. Before 1980, people didn't have a normal water in the home, not each house. You have just tap of the water for all city. And all the city take from one tap to wash, to clean. The lady, she takes the water in the morning, and the man, you go to take water in the afternoon. But my father, by 1987, he sent me, I get water for all the workers with him. And when I get the water, I was young, but I go with old people. And when I get the water, I found pieces of stone. I found pieces with a hand, with a inscription like stamp. I go around to my father. I found something with a inscription. He said to me, he joke. I said, come. He come with me. He speak with the manager. And this is called Najat Tawil. This is behind Karnak. The place I have a temple from Eknaton. It's a nice place behind Karnak. Very nice. And when my father comes, we must change the tap from the water. Because the tap from the water, it took a long time to move it because the people from the city need the water. You must make another one before. But in this time, the governor, he make all the house water. And they try to make like a company, make each house have separate water in the house. And my father he come after 6 months. With the water, he go down and no water. He found the statue I show you for Ramses II. And this was two statue. I am very happy to see something from Ramses. I'm lucky with Ramses II. Even I make restoration for the obelisk for Ramses II. I'm so happy to make something for Ramses. If anybody visits Karnak, you can go to the Mustafa beside Temple Council, and you can see the fragment from the statue, big one with a face. You can see the face, how it look like it.
I'm going to show the picture we took last time, 3 years ago, so they can see how the statue is.
You make Egypt happy, and you make a lot of tourists come and visit this one because there's something good about Ramses II. Everybody likes this one.
And are you a specialist in a particular area of the temple, or is it more like an overall thing that you know all the areas?
By 1997, I was just the head worker for Karnak. But by this one, I can work any place out Luxor. Sometimes I work in Aswan, sometimes in Dandara. But by 2017, Dr. Mustafa Waziri and Dr. Khalid Ranani, they sent me to the Delta. And in the Delta, I have a temple for Amun. It's like a Karnak, big, huge temple, huge.
Are we talking about the Tanis Temple?
Tanis, I like this one because Tanis, this was the capital in Egypt sometime. But when you go, you found nice temple, and they have 23 obelisks.
That's a lot.
You imagine what it means, 23 obelisks? And all this broken and damaged, all. 11 nearly complete, more than 70%. From 70 to 99. Dr. Mustafa Waziri and Dr. Khalid Harani, they tell me, you have work for you. You take obelisk from Tanis to a new capital. You take Tahrir Square and the Gem Museum, and this will be like 10 obelisks in the cross station. And the left one, and now it's still in Tanis. But before I move this everything to our Tanis, Dr. Mustafa Waziri said to me, I like to make restoration to the temple. I say, okay, you can do. He said, what about if you make 2 obelisks now? And you make restoration for 2 obelisks for 3 days. You work in the day and the night. We found a good crane. And you make restoration for 2 obelisks in Tanis. Everybody happy in the city. Everybody like it. And this one for Ramses II. But the good way, when you see some broken, and you try to make it back, make life again. Like the people, when you died, and they come to the light. When you make the obelisk broken and they make it back, big work, good job. You don't look for the money, you look for something from ancient Egyptian to make it back light. Sometimes found obelisk 7 pieces, sometimes 2 pieces, 3 pieces. But when you make it back 1 pieces, you imagine how it look like. I feel so happy about this. Yeah.
I can imagine it's an awesome feeling, a very exciting feeling.
When you have something you lost and they come back.
It's a way of regeneration.
Yes, and imagine all the temple how it looked like before. Anyway, when you touch something from ancient Egyptian, you can say who's the person who moves the stone, how we move from Aswan to Tanis, how we make restoration, how we make inscription. When you see the writers in the journalist, can feel who we do it. I like to meet the people who do. I like to know the man you do it, man and woman. Sometimes you carry obelisk, and the obelisk costs more than 350 clearly, more. Can imagine how many persons we move, how we get it from line to up, how we make the work 100%, no mistake. When I go to the Gem Museum, I imagine the big museum in the wall, and I look to the building, and we see a huge place, nice decoration, nice building. And when I found a chance, the people say, come to do the obelisk, I feel like a flight, like a bird, because I know the Grand Egyptian Museum. I think you have a big company, big engineer, big people. But when they say we come to do something from ancient Egyptian, I believe this makes me happy, so happy.
Yeah, it's a great honor.
More than the money, more than any money, more than anything. To work in the Grand Egyptian Museum, Egypt make good museum for the people. Everything from ancient Egyptians is a gift from Egypt to the people. And when you see the tourists, when you come here, you see the obelisk, you see the statue in the ground. Last month you open it, I can imagine how it look like.
We are talking about the obelisk that is in front of the main gate of the museum. I'm going to add some photos so you can imagine, for those who haven't been to the Grand Egyptian Museum yet, I'm going to show you what we're talking about. And indeed, it's a great museum. I was there recently visiting the Tutankhamon's galleries and the boat museum, and it's a very special place and it's very impressive.
I think Egypt will make good museum. And Tutankhamun will make the Grand Egyptian Museum big. But what do you think about Tutankhamun? How many kings like Tutankhamun? Because the story can meet a lot of kings by after. Nobody knows this. Was the king Seti II.
You talked about 2 block fragments that you have found?
2 block fragments in Karnak. And they say something about the king Seti II. He have a son. And nobody write about him. Nobody say something. And this is called the prince Seti III. And Seti II says sad about his son because his son died before him. If you go West Bank, you see the tomb of Seti II. But Seti II, when he died, he didn't stay in the tomb. He stayed in his wife too, his body. What about here too? I think he gave it to the son. Also, I think this have fall by jewelry. I think he make it like Tutankhamun because Seti II is the king of Egypt. Imagine the king of Egypt and they have a son, and the oldest son, and his son died. If you bury him, how will it look like it?
It would be a rich burial place.
Seti get the tomb for his son and see how it look like it. In the Karnak Temple, have 2 stones. We speak about Seti III with him in the horse, with the chariot, and behind him soldier from the army. And you know what he mean? He mean this will be the king's soul. And imagine if he be Seti III, how would be right? But I think in the time of Maryam Bitah, the family fighting together. My father tell me his son of Seti II, somebody killed him. But I know the story. I'm on mess. This was fighting with Seti II. Maybe I have a problem with the son of Seti. And after Seti II, now have a problem for Amun Mis.
And are there any other mentions of the song of Seti II in any other document?
No,
only these 2 fragments.
I don't see somebody speak about him. Even the book, if you go to the book, you're going to see something. But I'm so happy if I know more something. I wish I mean somebody know something. Because not everything in Egypt is still. A lot of something in different museum outside of Egypt. If you go to another museum, you see a lot of something from Egypt outside.
Yeah, you need to search for parallels or search for the information in the online collections.
What you know what you have. What about if you have nothing? What about if somebody takes some from Egypt and they keep in the home? A lot of people in Europe, they have something from Egypt.
Private
and
collections.
You don't write about this. You don't say something. You must say, I have something. Right? Make a book, make a lecture. See, I have something from Seti. You must let people know this because Egypt, difficult to go to all the house in Europe to see if you have something from Egypt. And ancient Egyptian, you make here, the land, big different than another land. Imagine what you mean Egypt for the people. Imagine how Egypt for ancient Egyptian. This is a big story. This is not normal story. I think Egypt bigger than anybody say. Egypt, nice country, nice land, nice people. If you go to the temple, you see the temple like forest. But Egypt, the forest was a column, was a building, was a pillar, was a house, was a chapel. Egypt, the life. And Egypt, when you make by stone, you make it forever. The forest, you stay forever. Not just for me, for you, for everybody. I think Egypt is the power for the world. Egypt is the peace for the people. Egypt is a good country for everybody. But I'm so happy I learned from my family, from my father, from the old people from my family. And I'm so happy what I know about ancient Egyptian. And also I'm so happy about a lot of people who work hard in Egypt, not for money. You feel like a home and you like to do something for a home. Sometimes you see tourists come, care about everything. You don't want to make damage to it. Even when you walk, somebody like to walk without shoes. You know why? Because I'm scared his shoes, he damage the stones. Some people have a problem in the home, you come here, you see big peace, big feeling, big health. I think Egypt the world.
Egypt is a very special place indeed, and it's a huge experience that everybody should be able to live. there are so many archaeological sites, but also the people, because Egypt is not only about the archaeological sites and the remains of ancient Egyptian civilization, but it's also the current Egypt, the Egypt today.
Egypt now different than before, but maybe Egypt now try to go up. Like the birds, when you sleep and you try to go up.
Yeah.
I think Egypt little bit more. I know you need time, but it will take time. But inshallah, Egypt will be the best. What I like also from people outside of Egypt, if you have something from ancient Egyptian, if you have a part in Europe and part in Egypt, you must bring the another part here to make complete, to make how you look like it. Because if you have a half here and half another country, I don't say good way from the ancient Egyptian when you do this, we do it for Egypt inside the temple. But when I see some broken, some pieces here, some pieces in Europe, I feel no happy. Imagine when you walk to the temple and you keep looking to the roof, to the column, to the description, the color.
Yeah, I think it's important to clarify or to explain that Karnak Temple is not only a temple, it's a complex of temples. So it's a massive precinct with different buildings inside the hypostyle hall. It's huge, the dimension of the columns. So it's a very complicated place to manage. I was there this morning, and the mastabas with the fragments of walls, columns, everything. It's so complicated. I was so amazed by the massive amount of work it requires to be taken care of.
I've been to Karnak. You see some stone from Tutankhamon, more than 145 block of Tutankhamon, special temple for Tutankhamon. The temple beside the sacred lake, before Taharka. If you go down, you will see some fragment. If you go Temple Bitah, you see the stone from the Queen Hatshepsut. If you go down to the dust, you will find something.
There are several layers of construction.
Time you move something from old to build a new something. If you know the temple in Karnak, more than one temples, but you have a lot of cave. You don't know anything about them. You don't find something. Like what I tell you about Seti II.
There's only one mention, so it's difficult.
What about the rest of the people? Maybe Tutankhamun have a family, maybe Akhenaten have a brother, but maybe for something from him. Maybe a big family for Akhenaten, maybe for Ramses, for all the kings. Keep thinking about Roman people when it comes, and they try to take obelisk from here to Europe. Sometimes the obelisk stand, you try to make the obelisk down, broken, leave it, you take another one. For this, the obelisk broken. More than one obelisk is broken. And imagine how many obelisks in Karnak. Everybody thinks 17. No, what I know from my family, 26, but maybe more. What about the rest? Because still you know nothing about the lots of something.
It's a huge puzzle. It's difficult to piece everything together.
Maybe you have more than 75%. Still you need to know. A lot of something in Karnak, nobody know about the story. A lot of something about all the temple outside Karnak, Luxor, or Egypt. We still don't know, let's say. How many temples in Egypt? How many places from ancient Egyptian? Why the ancient Egyptian don't speak about his house? Why speak about the temple? Why make all the writing, the graffiti, the carving, the inscription about the king? What about if somebody don't know him? What about if somebody built his temple by mud brick? What about if he do it by wood? What about by doing metal and somebody take metal, he takes the iron, he takes the silver, he takes the jewelry and he put in the fire. I know a lot of the story from long time. Somebody found something from ancient jewelry, they put in the fire. Why everybody happy about the Mosque of Tutankhamon? Because only one mosque, but maybe not of Tutankhamon, nobody know. I know something we moved from ancient Egyptian from long time, but it's still more something nobody know about this.
But before you mentioned something very interesting, and is that due to the fact that your family has been working in the temple for so long, your father or your grandfather had the memory of how the temple was back in the day when they were working there. So there is information that maybe it's not shown in photographs, but your family remembered how it was.
Because the family, we speak.
It's oral tradition.
Your father speak. Sometimes in the breakfast or in the lunch, they say, oh, this column, it was like 3 meters higher. Imagine when he moves a 6 meters, he moves the dust and you go down. If you go to Luxor Temple inside, it's covered more than 6 meters. Look how Luxor Temple look like. I'm very sad when I see new house around the temple. You must nobody made building besides the temple.
Yeah, because probably the archaeological area is...
What about if you found something good?
And the Sphinx Avenue was also covered with buildings.
By 1905, a lot of people live in the temples. Right. I know you still have a part from the house from meaning about 120 years older. In Egypt, we'll see a lot of something was covered by house, and down the house have a temple. If you go to the bank, see house, and maybe have a tomb down.
The spaces are reused.
I hope one day Egypt will know how we take care about the ancient Egyptian. Because all the Egyptian will be one hand, be like one person who take care about everything about ancient Egyptian. Doesn't mind is still now because they get money, but the money will spend, but the story never remove.
It's your heritage.
If you send something from ancient Egyptian, how you get back from Europe, and it's not easy. Never you get you something back. Maybe now.
It's starting to happen.
Yeah, but I wish everybody in Egypt take care about his temples and his family, because the ancient Egyptians is family of me, of all the people, family by family. And the people, he must be one hand, it be something good for Egypt. Maybe one day will happen. I wish one man will be strong and they take care about Egypt, it be good. Now, if you look for the money will finish soon. If you're not finished now, you will get 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 50 years. What about after 50?
Yeah, we have to think in long term, not only in a short term.
A lot of tourists come here to see Egypt. If you go to the pyramid, keep thinking how they build them, how we build. This is the port of hope. Keep thinking. So wood from more than 6,500. Imagine how it look like it. Imagine how the ancient Egyptian in one part from the obelisk from Aswan to Cairo. You imagine when you make it to the mountain, you make a tomb and inscription, you make everything. You imagine everything how it look like before the temple. Was a color, was a lot of some keep thinking how it look like this is complete.
And what is your favorite project? What is the project you feel most proud about?
I'll be prouder about what I do for the Red Chapel, for Hatshepsut in the open air museum. It make me happy because nice stone and nice inscription, and for Queen Hatshepsut, Queen, she take long time to be the queen. She take care about Egypt. Look what you know about Hatshepsut, what you know about the small king. Tutankhamon, young, and you know everything about him. You look the tools from Tutankhamon, how you make the Grand Egyptian Museum look nice. Look when you go inside, if you touch the children, what you feel. What about if you touch the stone? If you like to know the scripture, who's it? What the tools? What you eat? What you worry? How many children? What the children you do with the family? How's the life? The life big different in ancient Egyptian than now. I wish all the ancient Egyptian, you feel what I feel about Egypt, how it looked like before.
And how do you see the future? What would you say to future Egyptian archaeologists or Egyptologists?
It will take time to be the best, because now more better than before, more better, but you need a time.
It needs time to learn, to improve the knowledge and everything.
But you need it not like 2,000, 3,000 people. No, with a minimum people. You know what you mean, ancient Egyptian. You must, everybody study ancient Egyptian. I like the Muslim religion. The Azhar, it be close with the ancient Egyptian. Azhar is a big college for Muslim people. You must tell the people about this. But I know I have a lot of people help, but you need big help because you need a big hand.
From Science Factory, we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. And is there any other project or anything else that you would like to tell our audience?
I wish a lot of tourists come to Egypt, because Egypt for everybody, that's for Egyptian, for people from Africa, from Arab, Europe, Egypt for everybody. I think Egypt, the mother for the world. Egypt, big land and nice land. Egypt, the best place in the world. I feel Egypt, everything for me. I'm so happy to meet you, and thank you about what you do for me. And thank the lucky meet you from Syria, and I show you something. I don't know your birthday, but you make me happy. But I don't know even you, the day you come, I'll meet you by luck.
I'm going to explain what happened. It was 3 years ago. I was celebrating my birthday here in Egypt, as I always do. And I was with a friend in Karnak on my birthday. And for some reason, I met Mahmoud and I told him it was my birthday. And his gift was to show me the statue of Ramses II that we were talking about before. So that's how we met 3 years ago, and we met again this year.
No, you make me happy, I meet you. Even now, this year, I meet you by luck.
Yeah, it was by chance.
No,
it was so funny.
You make me happy to meet nice people like you, a nice personality. And
Thank
really,
you.
I'm so happy to meet you. I'm so happy to see a lot of tourists come to Egypt. I have a lot of friends from different countries, from Europe, from different countries, from Arab, from Africa, from all the world. But it make me happy. And I tell everybody, thank you to choose Egypt for your holiday. They make Egypt happy, but Egypt nice for everybody. And I think Egypt like the people to come here.
Absolutely.
Egypt, she like everybody. Nice to meet you, everybody. I wish everybody have a nice day. If you come to Egypt, nice holiday. And I wish everybody to be happy to meet him here. And you try to small helping, maybe you like to come more than one time.
So if you come to Luxor Temple or Karnak, maybe you see him. Who knows? Thank you very much for everything, and hopefully we will see you very soon.
Inshallah.
The perspective of Rais Mahmoud Farouk reminds us that archaeology is not only about interpretation and research, but also about expertise developed through years of fieldwork. This will be the final episode published on Science Factory. The project is now entering a new phase, and future content will be developed under a new channel, Egyptology Now, currently in preparation. Thank you for following Science Factory and for your interest in people and practices behind Egyptology.